phenomenal space to come in here and showcase music of all types, all walks of life. This is a really, really great space to do that. So that's kind of why I'm here. And I've been a guitar player for about 10 years, maybe over 10 years, 13 or something, maybe. And yeah, I've been writing and composing. I have training in lots of types of styles of music, and I've just been writing and composing and playing, and that's been my whole jam, my whole life. And here I am in the at the forefront of the cross between tech and music, and here we are.
Absolutely. And so, what was it like? What was your experience learning music and just, you know, was guitar, was that your first instrument or where did you get the impetus to play?
Yeah, so for me, I started out as like a little singing child, like everybody does, and then moved on to different instruments, small ones, and then settled on the trumpet in middle school. So that's when I started kind of really getting into music and playing. It was on the trumpet. Um, then I got introduced to the guitar in about grade seven or so, when I was maybe about 12 or 13. And then the guitar completely took over my whole life. And then, yeah, I've been with the guitar ever since. I've dabbled in other instruments, but really, it's been hanging out with the guitar and spending time with lots of different types of guitars and using the guitar as much as I can. So it's been my primary instrument, but I've been playing music and being a musician probably my whole life. Yeah.
As far as when you went into guitar, did you play in any bands to start with, or how did that come?
Yeah. Yeah, I started playing in a band at probably the beginning of high school. So maybe after 3 years into my guitar playing, me and my friends formed a pop punk band, and that's why I grew up on punk rock music in the 2000s. And I started out playing that kind of music. Then in school, I got to play like top 40s and kind of 80s rock in a course in high school. So that was really fun. And so I played in that band. We toured all around our province and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, so I played in some psychedelic rock bands, played in some tribute bands, some cover bands, I guess.
Oh,
And then I was playing in some jazz bands a lot of, as well as playing in some symphonic wind ensembles, still keeping up my trumpet chops, and playing in world music ensembles as well, up until recently. So yeah, lots and lots of playing, lots of bands. Still to this day, I still play in a punk band to this day. So we just dropped a new single actually, which is kind of cool.
you're serious. Through all of our
Yep.
conversations so far, I wouldn't have guessed, let alone did I know. And
Yeah.
so, who are the influences for your band's
Well,
approach to punk?
yeah. So for our band, we take a lot of well, for it for our band. The band is called Landmark 20, and we're basically a quartet, and we take influence from a lot of different places. So for me, I'm jazz and classical trained, as well as world music as well. So bringing those to the ensemble. Our singer is really deep rooted in the songwriting of like 80s New York kind of style, which is like the Replacements. That's a big influence. And then we get into some of the 90s punk stuff, which like Green Day and all these kind of bands, taking
Yeah.
lots of influence from there.
Oh,
And
sweet.
yeah, it's amazing. It's really fun. We're kind of putting a modern spin on it a little bit, so it's great.
Are you bringing them into Web3? What's happening there?
I've been trying to. I'm not sure when it's gonna happen yet, but I'm hoping so.
Well, maybe we'll bring him in here
That'd be
first
amazing.
and just go from there, man.
That
I'd
would
love
be.
to hear it.
I need to bring those guys in here. I need to have a meeting with those those
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Well, we could certainly do like a listener party
Oh, it'd
and
be
not make it
fantastic.
too serious. And
Yeah.
if have you guys done live streams as a band?
Never done
Okay.
live streams. We've always been a local Vancouver band, actually, and it's been a blast. I've only been with them since 2018, but they've always been a local Vancouver band. So we've never done any live streams or anything outside the city. So
Man,
yeah,
John Marvin Scott, getting aggro.
me. That's me.
So you said province and Vancouver. So did you grow up in Canada?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm from central Alberta, so um, middle of Western Canada, basically. And so I'm just grew up there, and then moved out to the West Coast for school, and now I'm living out here, hanging out, until my fiance kind of finishes up school, and we decide where we want to go next, and then wherever that is, we go. So
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
amazing.
Yeah, really great to hear. You know, yeah. I was about to say I've got relatives up there, and it's just I love British Columbia, and
It's
I've
beautiful.
been
It's
to
beautiful.
Calgary once, but you know, as far as
Hey.
yeah.
There you go.
But anyway, the journey now into NFT space.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. You know, what inspired it to start, and then you know what have you done so far?
Yeah,
Creation.
that's a great question. So the journey into the Web3 space was when I started getting into more investing and just started taking my money a little more seriously. And then getting into cryptocurrency mainly, that's kind of where it started for me. But when it gets really exciting is when I learned about all these NFTs and I started kind of seeing that we were bringing art into the digital space, just like I was Twitch streaming before I really found out about anything about Web3, and that was kind of my main thing. Um, and so I kind of found out about this just through trying to discover new ways to be at the forefront of tech and music. Basically, I love the idea of virtual reality and mixed reality. So like I'm mainly a music educator. That's my main job, and
Yeah.
trying to integrate these two worlds is something I'm really excited about. So that's what where I was kind of coming from. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, if I can put my music on SoundCloud, I'm pretty sure I can make an NFT. So I figured out how to make one and then just started putting them out and started selling them and started trying to list them and,
Right.
experimented because it was low cost of entry for me. And I figured, why not? And it got me in here and I got on Twitter and expanded and explored and I found some really, really great people on here. So it's been a weird journey in the last just the last year actually, but it's been really fun. And I just sold my first NFT actually to Bobby Yaps the other week. So that was really exciting for me. So it's like, I've seen the tangible outcomes of these things happening in real time. It's been a blast.
Right. And is there, what are your thoughts around getting community around your musicianship, your music,
Yeah.
bringing in
Uh,
more fans? What's your thinking
yeah,
around that?
I think that's really exciting. Like I said, my first job is being a music educator and a music tutor, music teacher, all these types of things. And for me, that's really important. And what I would love to do with with a community is to actually just be a resource for people to ask about music and to discuss music and to ask questions in a big, safe, open space. That's my main goal. And there's actually some stuff on the horizon in terms of NFT projects, possibly on the Solana chain. Not sure,
Yeah.
but about bringing music education into the NFT world and yeah, making this whole community. So there are things on the horizon, but
Cool.
my main goal would be to bring people in who are excited about music in all directions because my music goes in all directions and every direction is beautiful and amazing. And so if people want to come in here and just to figure out things about music or talk about it, that's the goal and that's the dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And you can choose which platform where you want to do that, whether it be
absolutely.
Spaces, Discord,
Yeah.
or some other, you know, Zoom, but Web3 technology that's out there.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's interesting time.
It's amazing.
Do you know who Mike Bass is?
No, I don't actually know who Mike Bass is.
Yeah, he has started to use a really cool platform called the 402.
Hmm.
And they use the 402 uses a backend of LivePeer that
Okay.
allows token gating of live performance,
That's
and
cool.
without you know all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, of course.
Just not the same. But
Yeah, it's true.
I'm looking at myself with a huge delay on the voxel screen, so I'm like watching me hand wave like a dork, but oh well.
Yeah.
The main thing with 402 is that it allows you to have a lot of interaction
Yeah.
on the same level as Discord. Discord gives you a little bit more ability to interface with, more graphics, depending on how you configure the channels, right? And so,
Definitely.
yeah, it would be interesting to see how you manifest it.
I'm excited. It's one of those things that I don't know how it's gonna work, but I
Yeah.
know that if I just keep pushing and keep trying to discover new things about it, I think it'll work. I think people will be really excited to learn music and learn about music with me and from me, and so that's the goal. And I hope I get to play my strange music for you. So that's the plan.
Well, that is like the perfect segue. And the thing that I noticed in your playing, you've picked up doing electronic music as accompaniment.
Yes.
And is that what we're going to hear tonight?
That is absolutely what we're gonna hear tonight. So my big, I'll tell you a little bit about this before we move on. My big thing was kind of doing everything myself because although I love playing with other people and playing music with other people is a totally different thing. I like to be in the studio by myself, so I was trying to recreate the experience of having real-time interaction with musicians, um, just by myself. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to show you some later stuff, or sorry, some new stuff that's not quite released yet, because it's going to have some really interesting interactive experience that way. And then I'll show you some older stuff, which is kind of where the idea manifests in this really cool kind of electronic, but also kind of interactive and humanistic in that way. So I'm really excited, and that's exactly what we're going to hear. It's going to be fun. I'm going to show you a few types of things, a few different types of music and things that I'm really excited about. Um, and for me, that is a lot of improvised music and a lot of original music. So thanks for coming in. Thanks for checking it out. So I'm going to show you a few things. This first song is a song that's really dear to my heart. It's called Drifting into Nothing. you so much. Thank you. I'm super excited. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. That one's really fun. Let's just take a quick screenshot of everybody here. Oh, yeah. That was perfect. Sweet. So, that was my first song. That was one of the first ones I ever released, actually. So that's what makes that one really special. The next one I want to play for you guys is actually something that I haven't really been playing that much, actually. But it's a really great song. I'm really excited about it. This is a song called Surprise. Yo. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you. What what a fun tune. I love playing stuff like this because this kind of stuff is some of the most intimate and fun music you can play. It's just a palette for improvisation and for improvisation and something I live for. Excuse me. Something I'm really passionate about, something I live for. So what I'm going to play for you right now is a short free guitar improvisation, which just means I'm just going to play with just my guitar and nothing more. Thank you very much for listening so far. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. This is a free improvisation on guitar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not currently able to see in the voxels just at this moment, but I'm really, really excited that you guys are all here. I know you guys are all there cheering me on. So thank you so much here. We're coming down to the last little bit of the set here. So what I want to play for you next is something that I've literally never performed in front of another person ever, and I just put the arrangement together a few days ago. This is a really, really interesting and fun tune. Um, and it is called an acoustic piano. Why, you may ask? That's a great question. It won't be answered tonight, unfortunately, because I named this in a strange state. And so I don't really know exactly why it's named like that. But that's fine. So we're going to get myself set up on voxels here because I want to be able to see all of you beautiful people. And then we will be hitting play here, checking it out. And here we are. I'm in the back, I think. Check me out when I'm there. There I am. All right, I'm in the back. Here I am, coming up to the front, zooming around. Let's play an acoustic piano. Let's go. This is the first time it's ever been played. This is probably the first time I'll play it in a long time. I mean, this is the only first time. But I don't even know what I'm going to play it next time. So thank you for listening to it. It was a blast. I love music because it's conversational. You know, it's one of those things where if you can't express the way you feel into words sometimes or into English, sometimes you put it into something else. You put it into visual art, into painting, sculpting. Maybe you put it into your business because you like economics. Maybe you put it into your athletics because you like sport. Music's just like that for me. And I think improvising is the greatest way to converse with somebody, is to state something unapologetically and then just have somebody respond to it. So without further ado, I'm going to maybe have a little conversation with myself. and then that might be our last tune. So thank you so much for coming in. This next tune, it's called it's called Indigo. One of my favorite tunes to play of all time. Here we go. Oh, hey, hello, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me here. I'm super, super excited that I got to play here. And thank you for listening and thank you for having me. So, cheers. Thank you so much. One more screenshot for the room. Let's go. And here we go. I'm really excited. Thank you guys for coming.
Raphael, welcome. Great to have you here. So I don't know if you had a chance to check out the set, but boy, that was really nice. So thank you
Oh
for,
yeah, I checked it out. It's amazing. That guy's amazing.
yeah, I love the
Really.
vibe. I mean, some of the grooves were just reminiscent of some jazz that I had gotten into back in high school and college. Man, it's just like talk about bringing vibes from the past for me. So we had a really great conversation introducing our musical pasts, and so I just want to have a chance to recap. Basically, why don't you give us a snapshot of how you got into music and what brought you up to where you are with your modular synth and everything? So,
Sure. Yeah. I am happy to be here in this amazing virtual space. Um. I'm just in video heaven over here. My music started when um I was really young. I played the violin. Um, and I was probably, single digits. And then I played guitar for a while, and um, started in the basement of my house, like singing with the delay pedal on the vocal to try and like bring my voice out, and
yeah,
I just remember I'm like, I got this vibrating thing right here and I can use it. I just have to get less shy about it because it's, when you listen to your voice, it's like, oh my God. Most people when they hear their voice, not everyone, but a lot of people when they hear the voice, they're like, oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't know why, but that's my brand of self-conscious, I guess.
yeah, it's not far from the truth for me too. It's like, why haven't I been a singer yet? So, yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I try singing sometimes. I did a lot of I made albums when I was younger where it was based on songwriting with acoustic guitar and electric guitar and piano and kind of like conventional songwriting stuff, and made a bunch of albums, probably like 6 albums in that format. And then kind of got to a point with my music where it was right around when my dad died, um that my music shifted into this kind of um I didn't want to have to like commit to have it be like a photograph, when you write a song. I wanted to kind of more set an environment in a stack of equipment, and be able to just have like that be the organizing aspect of the music, not so much the linear time wise and structure of the song, but more like the just the melody, the key and the timbre of the sounds, instead of you know um just have the it's like basing it on the gear. Basically, I'm basing the sounds off of and the music off the gear, instead of committing to writing a song or something. Let's put it that way. And I really love that approach. It works for me. um so that's what got me into generative synths, was that I can kind of just set the environment for the music and change the some of the parameters about how the notes unfold, but not necessarily be um, doing them all myself. It's like this whole orchestration of all these equipment that people do, whether it's a loop based machine or it's a playback pedal, or a lot of people are doing the one man band kind of,
Right.
you know, um, just where music is going because the technology. That's one of the things I really love is how technology affects music. Like with the jazz singers, it used to be back in the 40s, you had to be a big, loud vocalist to be heard. But then with the microphone and the record and the, more and more high tech microphones, the more sultry, quiet voices came out. And that's one of the things that has always really caught my attention and been interesting to me. And I love Bjork and stuff for all her little intricate sounds and stuff. So that's where I get excited.
Yeah, it's curious how they, the freedom obviously away from song structure, but having that in your mind, you kind of mentioned that you've got some tunes that you felt that the once you had that, I guess familiarity, I guess, is that something that comes to, you get a sense of familiarity with what you've created, and it all of a sudden has some, structure that, how does that go from, being in the improvisation to the, I've got some groove or I've got this progression that all of a sudden comes in. What's that feel like?
Um, that's a good question. I think it's it's kind of like you kind of hit the nail on the head, the familiarity. Like when I'm like, oh, I'm listening to music now, and I'm in, that feeling you get when you're like, I love this music. That just it's just a certain thing that happens when you're like, oh wow, I love this music. Um, and that is what I'm looking for, and it's not always, by no means is it always there during my, you know, uh, exploration, but I'm learning to condense down, well, in this format, thanks to Web3 and this kind of um uh thanks to Web3 community and this 3D ish technology. I'm looking at it on a 2D screen, but
Right.
for making it possible, because um yeah, I kind of just lost my train of thought, but yeah, that's why I can do this.
Well, I guess to bring it back a little bit, for sure, this community is all about supporting experimentation, and so the latitude, so to speak, to go there and then come back, and I love to hear that moment of wow, there all of a sudden a photograph of something, for lack of a better word, is there. It's like the genius of something is like landed on. It's like, where the fuck did that come from? This is cool. That's the beauty of music, right?
So that brings me back to my where basically what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to sort of DJ. I quickly put together a few tracks from the past that where that moment happened for me, where I was like, oh, that sounds like music. Um, and then
Yeah.
there's like about 30% of that, and then about 60% of total experimentation and live music being created, what's um gonna happen. That's my plan, at least. We'll see what really happens, but that's what I got set up. So yeah, that's interesting. We're in this world where you can go back and see a live performance after it's already been done. You go listen to a Twitter space if you missed it, or if you want to catch something you missed. It's like the replay.
Right.
So it's like doing the live event is half of it, or maybe even less than half, because there's all these experiences that happen later on down the road when you can watch it again.
Right. Absolutely. And it's a perfect segue. You set it up, and let's just see what we can do to get you live here on your Twitch stream. For sure, hang out at the end of this, because what's beautiful about this night is that we'll be able to uh, bring you in on a conversation with our next guest, Abel. Uh, and the beauty of you guys having had a working relationship in the past, we'll get yet a little bit more, or I don't know how much more of a background on where you've been, because I definitely want to go back and hear about the recording experiences, the albums that you did. Definitely pages get turned, but you know what? I love to hear those stories too. So I love it. Hopefully we'll get some of that after your set. So if you're good, I'm good. And I'm just mute here and we are set to go. So
Cool. Yep, here where you mute, and see you in the other side.
exactly. All right.
The new kind of mathematical imagery has left Newtonian and abstractions far behind, even within Orthodox science. And I'm not surprised that someone like Blake would have reacted against his ferociously, calling it the tree of death and so forth. I mean, it must have struck a sort of nightmare chord within him. It would have been a nightmare. There was no spirit, there was no soul, nature was dead and inanimate. There were no angels or consciousnesses in the universe. Animals and plants were machines. And I think it has had a And he talked about when the organs of perception change, objects seem to change. That seems to strike a very modern chord, doesn't it? In modern science, there's been a recognition of the obvious in quantum physics that all observations depend on observers. And so the human mind has come back albeit in a very stripped down and not very interesting form, but it's had to be admitted at last by scientists that our observations depend on us. Our theories are products of our own minds.
His central perception was that the imagination, this human existence itself, that it looks into eternity from all its angles. Is that something you agree with him about?
But I think the imagination has to be seen as much larger than our merely limited human minds. And since Blake believed in angels and God, there's a whole realm of consciousness of imagination. It goes far beyond the human realm. If I understand Blake correctly, he was talking about a living world permeated by consciousness and spirit, full of life and quality. I think the science of the next millennium, so the next century, will be much closer to the kind of view that Blake was trying to give.
Well, I have this poster here.
By toning the vowels, you produce the sound of the consonants speaking the word Yahweh. Of who we are and where we come
We are live in voxels, guys. So
Wow, that was crazy. I have so much fun getting nervous and breaking down and stopping and like getting confused. Um, it's a pleasure to have anybody here with me, and I hope that people can appreciate the little diamonds in there that I seek for when I'm doing this crazy live thing that I do. It
yeah,
takes time. These small for like I'm still finding my way, I feel like I gotta do like I just am so addicted to it. Like I gotta do like an hour or like 2 hours or 3 hours before I'm even like really going. So
I
I really appreciate the
totally
opportunity
get
to,
that.
to
Yeah.
try it out in this format, and yeah, that was fun.
I loved it.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. What's up,
Yeah.
Abel? What's up, bro? Holy shit, here we are. Fucking throwing down music into the cosmos here. I'm very excited.
We made it.
You might have noticed everybody out in the ether sphere, metasphere, metaverse. Man, there's so many different things you can say about this crazy place we're in. We have an addition to this conversation is Abel Okugawa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I've enjoyed the whole evening. I came in to see the first show and then the second one, and here we are. So it's and I haven't left my house. So, or I mean, my studio, which is in my house. So it's just kind of a fun thing here on Sunday.
I haven't
Yeah.
left my bar in, I don't know, 3 months. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, I like what you've done with it since the last time I've seen it. I think it looks yeah, like you keep it pretty straight. So
yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of, you know,
the music hall,
reliable.
right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. This is from I shouldn't necessarily say it, but no, it's I will give them credit where credit's due. This is a picture from inside the Winters Tavern in Pacifica, California. And it's a great place where, you know, all sorts of bands come up and play on the stage, and they have open mic nights, and they have some wonky, but no, expertise on stage that is just amazing players. I mean, a lot of surf, a lot of avant-garde stuff, and some old school train. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's really cool that we can all kind of share what we're doing and present it, and you know, enjoy that aspect of, you know, music, and also be in different places at the same time. So you know, thanks to everybody who's come out and, you know, joined and is watching from wherever they are, and maybe it's a couple different places. You know, I think is we're in an interesting time. So um it's very cool to be here. I think this is one of my first um times in the metaverse in this way, really. So, or a metaverse venue.
You know, I'm going to do something that I actually have never done before, and that's to share my screen with
Uh-oh.
ourselves. Can we do this without completely hanging everything up?
Uh,
I don't know.
is it going to be a cool video feedback loop?
I don't know. You know, that could be, no, I've got it muted, thankfully. But I think I'm going to stop here. But the bottom line is that we have so many different stops along the way. So with Raphael having just streamed via Twitch, he had exposure to the world through his Twitch stream because, you know, it's one thing I don't like about Twitch is where basically to go live is to make it available to everyone. And from there, came into my Twitch stream, made it available to everyone there, which is where we are at right now. And then I've got it being captured on the screen in voxels. And then we've got one of our friends from Token Smart that is doing a share screen of his point of view from his voxel into the Token Smart Discord. And simultaneously, he's also, I'm not sure if he's doing it tonight, but he typically does a send of that point of view to his Twitch stream, the Token Smart Twitch stream. So you've got at the least 4, if not 5, touch points.
It's a network, a radio network of music. Yeah, and I was
The
in
daisy chain.
I watched the show in Crypto Voxel, so I was in there, you know, throwing emojis and choosing my little dance patterns and typing in the chat thing. And yeah, so that was really fun. And I think if Cream Cheese is out there tonight, who's my brother-in-law, who's in the hospital, I want to say, hey, buddy, and I hope you're doing really well. And I'm not sure if you made it to any one of those 5 points of interaction, but cheers and miss you. I hope to see you soon. And also, I think this is just such a cool thing. Partly why I want to do this, so that I can share this experience with all the other musicians that I know and talented people who love to perform, and looking for those opportunities. And it has been a little bit difficult since the pandemic, so I really appreciate what's been built here, and other places, and Binks, and everybody here at Third Planet that's sort of brought me here. And I'm finally comfortable and excited and here to share some of the things that I've been up to. And I think that what's interesting for me is this is a different format, right? So I'm not even really going to play any live music tonight. I'm just going to kind of hang out, talk about what I do here, and show some of the live music. So I think that that's, for me, a really good step, because Raphael, you just said about all the nerves and all of these things, and it's been a while since I prepared a live show that I really wanted to present. And I wouldn't necessarily go and do what we're doing tonight anywhere, in any of the music venues. So I think that this is a really cool hybrid of an experience. And for me personally, I just love it because I get to hang out with you, Raphael, who I started making music with, maybe more than, like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. So yeah, it's quite a, I think we're in a new place, and I'm happy to be here.
Totally.
Absolutely. That begs some history on that, but maybe what we could do is just ask you how you got into music, and ultimately, pick up the conversation about how you guys met. So what brought you into music just to begin with?
I think I come from a musical family. That's really what it is. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Sometimes my dad plays music, um, and a lot of my siblings play music, and a lot of my family relatives play music. So it's always been in my life and around me. Also, acting is also something that my family has done. Both my parents are actors. So I grew up in sort of a world where people do different things, and in entertainment and skills and arts. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think, and it was not an easy journey to find my own path. I think it was in high school that it really became apparent to me that music was my calling, and everything else was just holding me back from that. So I just jumped right out of high school and went straight into music. And I had a job. I was washing dishes, and that's me and Raphael. We worked at the same restaurant. So we were dishwashers that were sort of conspiring musicians as well. So it was like a band meeting all day long, and in the kitchen, and then we'd go home and to our house, at that point that we had, that was turned into a studio, and make music. And
Oh man.
I just loved it. I think that was, really it just caught me. I was like, I knew that from a young age that you can do what you want to do. But there was always the resistance for me was, well, why don't you go to school and do that and learn that? And just my musical path was moving so fast that I considered it, but I never got to go there and do that. And I just ended up doing different things in music, from then on until
Right.
now. Yeah.
And so, what was your first instrument? Would you say the one that you really
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, since
dialed
we're
you?
hold on.
Oh, The actual first instrument maybe.
I didn't prepare this exactly, but so this is it. My MC 303.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
So
real deal. The first thing,
I mean, yeah, I've
the
had a
impetus.
guitar, I've had different, but this is what I made albums with right here. You see
Oh man.
this sticker, this is like an old skateboard from Dune. If this is then this is another sticker that I made back in the day, and it's just my MC 303, and when we were in the kitchen, another friend of ours who was into goth music, um he was ordering synths and stuff off of eBay, and I didn't know anything about ordering things from eBay back then. And so I told him, help me, order a drum machine. We ordered an R8, and the guy on eBay sent this instead. So I was like pretty bummed out when I got it because it wasn't what I wanted. But then he was like, "No, take it home and check it out before And I put it on and I turned the bass on. And I was like, "Oh my god, this thing is incredible!" And I just started making beats, and that was it. I just was hooked after that. And I said, "What do you think the guy's like going to want this back or what?" Because like it came from eBay, So what's the deal? And so he asked the guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, no, never mind. You just keep it. I don't care. It's fine. It's same deal." And I was like, "Yes, score." And yeah, so that's the,
Serendipity.
the MC 303 came into the picture at that point.
It's amazing how instruments can choose you sometimes, They
Yeah,
totally just come up and just take your life over.
yeah, yeah, right. Like I had guitars. I played. I grew up playing music, so I had musical instruments in my life, and I was really into the baritone horn, but because I moved back and forth, I didn't stay consistent with that. And it was like until later on when I got this that I was like, this is my voice. I can do what I want to do. I can make the sounds that I like with this. So yeah, it's weird how that kind of just chose me in a sense that, yeah, absolutely. It's like,
You did not even the one you were grabbing for, It was like
and
you came in and it's crazy.
yeah,
Were you dishwashing already at that point, or was that even before you guys met?
no, we were washing dishes at that point.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you got to see the metamorphosis yourself there.
Oh
Raphael.
we were, it was all coming, like we were like get all kinds of crazy gear, from somebody's studio. There's something that they were like cleaning out and didn't want this stuff, and we were like, really, we'll take it. And we would, we just ended up with some amazing things that we put together. I mean, it was a really fun time. We were not using computers, so we, everything was plugged up, and routed. And Raphael really knew all about that, and I didn't. I mean, a lot more than I did, and I didn't really understand it. And I remember there was a point where we were, you know, living together, hanging out, making music. And Raphael, I think you were bartending at night as well. So you went away, and I was like, damn, like there's all this equipment and I don't even know how to turn it on. And I remember that moment when I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. So I was like, all right. So, and I think I like got, halfway through, and then I gave a phone call down to the bar, and I was like, hey man, like, can you help me? And you're like, all right, yeah. We did some crazy stuff back then. Like, uh, you remember, Raphael, when you recorded the bells melody on, I can't remember even what song it was, and it was the phone ringing at the house, and it
Yeah.
was an old phone, and you were changing the tape speed to record it at different notes. And so you were like, just keep calling the house. And so I was at work.
Oh my God. Just
I
keep
was at work,
going.
and Wendy, the manager, was like, "Get off the phone," and you were like, "I'm almost done with the melody," and I was like, "All right, I can call one more time."
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It was maniacal.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Was that a reel to reel you were saying, or what was it?
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was like a Pioneer or something.
Oh man.
no, you used the ADAT.
Was it okay?
You were doing the ADAT time because you could
Oh,
the pitch on the ADAT.
you're right. It was pitching the ADAT. That's totally right. You're right. You
Much
could tune
better.
that thing.
Digital
You
quality, no less.
Yeah, so that's almost like one of your first frequency matching note experiments, because on the ADAT it goes down by cents, I think, so you can digitally say, okay, now I know the note A, when this bell rings, is 17 cents lower or slower. And then you were like writing it out.
That's
Totally. I'm still doing that same shit, man. Except it's all compressed into the computer now. But not even. I mean, I got this whole room here filled with beer and the computer, so it's like balancing.
so. What city was it that you were both in at that time?
In Charlottesville,
And
Virginia.
and you're still there, right, Abel?
Yeah, I was left here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
You're abandoned.
around since, but I moved back here. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I moved to New York after that, and then up to Vermont, and now I'm happily in Vermont. I love it up here.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that's just such an awesome story for you guys to start it that way, but the story continued somehow into some
And
more serious, endeavors.
NFTs.
Well, no, no, no. Give me some meat in between. I know
Uh,
it's a little cerebral and maybe I
it's
wouldn't want to, modesty might come in, but what the fuck? Come on, give us some, where did some of those collaborations go? Because I heard
well,
some cool shit.
I mean, I moved up to New York as well for a while. And I stayed, actually, I think, Raphael, I stayed at your house that had a train, of course, because when you move to New York for the first time, of course, there's a train right there, which you're familiar with. And so, I think I slept, actually, me and it was my girlfriend, who's my wife now, Rahima, was slept in your living room floor, for probably a month, or exactly the amount of time that's too long. And, then I kind of, moved around a bit, stayed at my uncle has a really cool loft up there that had, and, rest in peace. And, I started again working in a restaurant when I moved up there, because I was like, okay, I'm going to work, get into music, live in New York. That's the idea. When you're young, you've got to be close to what the action, right? Like in the primary music market. So I did that. And I ended up working in some studios, like after I worked in restaurants, and kind of found out, like, okay, these are the studios. I worked at Mirror Image Studios on 42nd Street, doing custom installation and like remodeling studios. I did, that work for like some studios for like Duro, who does like Beastie Boys mixes and stuff like that. All these like incredibly cool producers who had like their own custom, like finally getting good records, doing their own custom studio. It was like that era. I did some work for Nona Hendrix. What?
Just curious what years, but that's not
2004 or 3 kind of stuff. Like I think that was then. Yeah. So it was did some stuff that was like written up in like the Source magazine back then, and
oh, yeah.
a lot of hip hop going on. I think it was Grand I'm gonna say somebody's name wrong now. It was a hip hop legend. Why can I? Funk Master Flex. That's who it was. I did a really great job on the studio for Funk Master Flex, and he had like a whole thing going on, and we got written up in the Source magazine. And so while that was happening, I also lived at that point in the Bronx, with like a whole group of friends, and we were producing a lot of music, doing like sort of what was underground hip hop, but some of our friends did really, really great records too, like with Mos Def and Talib Kweli. And so it was a big scene,
Wow. Yeah.
We did a lot of parties and just, crazy music kind of stuff there, and it was
So
cool
how
because
much? Yeah.
what?
So where were you in the music creation side in all of this? Because it
Well,
sounds like you're doing.
I was making my own music, I was like working in the music industry, in the studios, hanging out, doing whatever stuff. I did some interning, I did some sessions, some paid work. It was kind of like just getting my feet under my ground and my feet on the ground really in it. And my idea was I didn't want to work in a restaurant anymore. I wanted to just be in the studio full time. And it kind of got to the point where I got hooked up with this studio manager who had 3 studios. And so it was basically, he was like, you're on call for 24 hours a day. You can work as much as you want. It was like, I think it was like $20 an hour back then. And I was like, yes.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I like, we did crazy stuff. Like we slept overnight, did, all sorts of work, like crazy installs, just getting it done. And then that turned into hanging out and assisting on sessions. And then it got really stressful, and
Oh yeah.
uh, I was like, so I was also kind of making my own music, and the music industry was really changing for independent musicians back then. So I was doing a lot of custom CDs. I was producing my first vinyl record, kind of getting deals with different labels and things that were going on the internet as that was happening. But a lot of it was based around showing up and hanging out and like trying to figure out what this thing was, right?
Yeah.
And I got some really great skills, like with just seeing how the studios work. And then that was when this opportunity with one of my friends in Virginia, Peter Agelasto, who runs Starchive now, he was like, hey, I'm building a studio and you want to come down and help me finish it off. And he had basically renovated this huge, like turned this barn into this incredibly cool, like it seemed huge back then, like studio that was made of, I think it was like 33% post-consumer recycled material, that we had and he had, and we continued to together collect and build a studio out of. And so we built Monkey Claws, and I helped him finish it and do all the wiring and all that stuff. And Raphael was in New York still then, so I came out and we were no longer in the same place anymore. So as that studio developed, then the next time we got to come together was we produced an album with our friend Tom Peloso, who plays in Modest Mouse. He's the bass player. And so he's been playing music forever and he wanted to do an album with all of his friends, like this incredible album. So we produced the album with him at that studio.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so came back down and that was super duper fun. We had like Mike, I can't remember his last name, from like Guar played on it. And like, it was just like this incredible moment where we got to be back in the studio and make music together. And like, don't you think, Raphael, that was like kind of a
Man,
big,
that was huge. Tom is one of those old road dog, like Richmond, like musician, like just a rock, just what I would, call like one of those. He's like rock. He's got rock star in his blood. He just lives to be on the stage plucking that bass, like every night, and he has a lot of really colorful friends, and that was a good time,
Yeah.
um
You
that was
toured with
fun.
you toured with them before that, right? Like there was like, I mean, this it's just really hard to cover all of this stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah. I
We'll have
mean,
to have
One,
like another couple hours for some of this stuff because I'm kidding.
uh,
No, none of that.
it's a long story.
So just to just give that one a little punctuation, what would we look for to find that that
man,
production? Is it
okay.
out there?
So that's a funny one. So like when we finished that album, it was like the question was, how do we distribute it? And I looked the other day and I can't find it anymore. So it's I think he's doing something else with it because it was on like Apple and iTunes, and we went that way, like as independents. We didn't use a label. It was a big question. Um,
CD
and
Baby, maybe even.
yeah, something like that. I think he had a distribution deal with, it was like at that point, it was like, do you get a label or do you just get a distribution deal? And so, you know, it was he being the musicians that we are and like the world that we come from, it was like, no, let's like he wanted to do that. And so that just means that I think it's changing. So that album is not actually out yet again or whatever. But and also none of our music is really out again. So this is the thing because I mean, I've done lots of music. You can go on Spotify and look up Abel Okugawa and stream my music. You can go to my website and I have a catalog of 500 tracks that I've made, that you can stream. You can join my website and we can hang out on about music there. It's I do a lot of music licensing. It's
Right.
this really is a good question in that NFTs really brought us back together because this is the thing that we're like, oh well, we want to make music again, like, but for some reason it's allowed this outlet to happen. So that's really where we're at with it. Streaming is really easy to do. It's really easy to drop
Yeah.
your music on a streaming service, and yes, it's available to everybody that's got that, but where does that go from there if you're not going for um the whole touring and popular music kind of path. And so I think that's really what led me into music for film and all of these sort of more artistic sides of audiovisual art. And then it was I thought I was like, well, maybe this is it, like where I'm going to make content for touring bands. I'm going to, make my own artwork because I love it. I can put it out the way, on Spotify here and there when I want to. But what's the real point? Like, I don't feel like I was able to do things back then. Like we made these like 101 CDs, like all this stuff behind me is, it's kind of irrelevant because they're all CDs and that sort of just fell off. And that was really the medium that was easy to use, and I had adopted it for my art. And until NFTs came along where there's a digital way to have authenticity, scarcity, it just and that's when I was like, Raphael, I think you're gonna like this. And he like now he's playing music, and like, yeah, it's
Well,
cool.
thank you, Abel, because it's goddamn cool to have Raphael here at this moment. So,
Yeah, man. I mean,
well, you did it yourself, Raphael, but hey.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, Abel's been like really just. I mean, basically since I started my re-ambition to play music since after COVID, and my life changed a lot. So I'm more in a position where I can do it now. And Abel has been there, side by my side the whole time, like just being the best friend ever, and just really, it's just I can't be more grateful and happy to have such a great friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is it's a chance for us to develop a living with our friends instead of the commercial industry.
Totally. I think it's so cool that we can like not, it's like, do I want to put a bunch of energy into making an album and then put it on Spotify where it's just like, I don't have any problem with everyone having access to the music. I'm happy for that. But it's just like the whole stink of it. I just don't like um playing games that I don't believe in. I believe in
It
making music,
We
but
live in that realm, and so I guess I count myself fortunate that I never was in the Web 2 quote unquote streaming world yet, and so I'm just going pure into Web 3 and just feeling it out, let alone even discovering what it's like to have a following, build a following. And so being in this Web 3 world, the whole concept of community, I mean, really, watching you, Abel, in so much in the Twitter Spaces and whatnot. I mean, that's just huge what you've done.
oh,
And
thank yeah.
yeah,
It takes a team, it's me, Mr. Swee and Nate Guppy and everybody who shows up, and then the people who drop in. Like it's really, it is, there's a different point of access that we have now. So yeah, I love it. Like, again, like I started this conversation tonight with, this is going to be different. This isn't something that I would do. It's kind of a hybrid between a premiere of a film where you get a little bit of a, like, to talk and to the directors, maybe the actor, people that are involved in like the film. It's a larger project, right? So we have that, sort of, those are great events, but it's also like a music event where we get to present our music. And so I really like that. And also,
yeah,
it would be cool when we get to kind of take questions and interact with other people who are listening as well, because that's why I love doing spaces,
yeah,
uh, because it allows the conversation to expand. And I wouldn't, without my going there and people being, very nice and willing to listen to my questions at a very rudimentary level, like maybe probably a year and a half ago now or something, or a year ago. And then I wouldn't know what I know now, and I wouldn't know how to apply everything that I've learned to it. Right. And so that's what I really want to promote, is that at any level, we're here to kind of, put that together. And that's a chance that we haven't had yet. And yeah, I think we're doing it right
yeah.
now. Yeah. So it's really fun.
It's a perfect segue to get into your set and what it is. But I do want to just give some light to, you mentioned a partnership that you've got with a few others, that you've got an ongoing concern, you can say, with music, art, kind of the whole collective that you're involved with right now. Could you give us a little bit on that?
Well, I think, yeah, I failed to mention the name of the pop-up record shop, which is the space that we hold on Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. EST time on Twitter. So if you go to Twitter and you wanted to be, follow what we're doing and be a part of it, you go to NFT Record Shop. That's the account.
Yep.
And just, we'll be posting spaces there. So I think we're on like 35. I think this next Tuesday will be number 35. And it's really kind of a phenomenon. It's not really something in particular right now. It's we're building a lot of things and sort of growing organically the music and Web3 culture. So it's a place that we open up where everybody can kind of come together and talk about all the different aspects that music brings together, right? So
Yeah.
it's really mind-blowing to me every time where we can go and what we can find and what's going on, especially with when you relate it to the technology. But we don't want to just relate it to what's current in technology. We also talk a lot about vinyl records, the culture of music, you know, where does this stuff come from? Because,
Oh yeah.
you know, part of when we say we just don't like Spotify, blah blah blah, you know, part of it is that it's what we love has been ripped apart for us, right? So when you look at an album, it was a complete set of songs. Then we see it go to the single, you know, you see now you don't get the full lyrics with it. You don't get the story. You don't know who played the guitar and the thing. Like,
Liner notes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we don't have any laws about this. When you
Right.
look at a movie, so this is also something that I get into because there's IP involved, intellectual property, right? So as we're in this technology, it's very important to educate everybody on what are we dealing with, what are rights, you know. Part of the reason, you know, with music is we don't have any agency or rights around protecting that information. When you look at a movie, you watch the movie, you see the credits run. Why are they so long? Why are there all those things? You know, the guy who brought duct tape and coffee on the, you know, because they matter, and there's union laws about those things, and that's something that's been dealt with there. We're still developing the music industry, so that this group, this culture is um built of, you know, the sort of the three people are myself, who comes from the world of music and music licensing and all of the things that we're talking about tonight. Mr. Sway, who is a metaverse DJ. He's a DJ. So it's, you know, we also get into how, you know, music listeners and fanatics and DJs and that side of like where do we connect with that? And then we have Nate Guppy, who is a journalist, you know, and also an avid NFT collector and trader, and, you know, has a lot of knowledge to share about the market that we're dealing with in that. So I just, you know, I love all of that coming together around, you know, audiovisual art. And that's something that we do twice a week, to, you know, provide that space, to just keep everybody really informed. And, you know, anybody who's interested in it, you know, we also have like a chat and stuff like that. But then if you come there, then you get to know about things like this and other things. We've had incredible people come by. I mean, and that's what keeps me going, is the stories that I'm like, I know because I've been in music and I'm close to the stories, so I know they're there. But when I see doing something like that, like with where we're at right now in our culture of music, and then I see people coming in and the stories being told, it's absolutely what we need, you know, is just to sort of ruffle this up. And
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what's so cool about being able to have these conversations, and I feel so fortunate to be able to be part of this right here with you too. I mean, so
Yeah,
really,
great.
it's great to have you here,
Cool.
and for everybody right in Voxels, Token Smart, wherever else you are, this conversation's been so worthwhile going along before we set up the video here that Abel's given us. So I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to
Well,
set
yeah,
up on this and tell.
again,
Yeah,
I
it
just
goes
want,
under a slightly different name. Yeah.
well, right, a slightly different name, absolutely different name. Red Flower Lake is the name of my wife. It's one of her real names, and also the name of our electropop duo. And the, you know, audiovisual art presentation that we're gonna, you know, show tonight is our music. It's a little bit of music videos. It's a couple music videos that are featured in a digital, a virtual museum called Toro Siete. And there's some that are from some live performances that we've done. And so it's sort of the work that we were doing COVID and in COVID era, kind of when streaming but before I really got into NFTs. So I think that it's a really, really good example of where I'm building, because again, like, I'm creating a live show. I'm not in a place with my music right now where I have one ready to go. I was doing a lot of that, but I had to take a step back and reconsider it. But with what we're doing here tonight and things like that, I'm really interested in this experience and how that's going to play into informing me how I want to kind of go forward. So I love seeing everything that everybody did tonight, and I wanted to kind of share that. Really, it's a live, there's live music in there, and it's yeah. So I look forward to presenting that tonight, and yeah, being a part.
This is not your average music festival here. We don't go just straight to the music, and so to be able to have you guys give background and where you've been and how this is.
I have a few films that I'd love to show at some point too. So I know people, maybe that's something that we can talk about later,
Yeah.
but that I would just sort of,
Movie night.
yeah, well,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, in specific films that I've produced, like feature-length films.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Around,
Yeah, I mean, movie night, yeah, but
How long films were these?
like an hour, and like a real movie. Like I've been a part of movies, so feature-length film. I think it's,
Feature-length.
yeah,
I'm
90.
sorry. I'm feeling like a total goofball here. So got it. And
Yeah, I
what
just
would
want
you like to do? Let's talk about it after the
put
show.
that out there, that's where I'm kind of going with this stuff, is like, there's so much work that we have done that I feel like we can bring into this kind of space. And I know that this is a music hall,
Yeah.
but it's more than that. So I just wanted to throw that out there and let people's minds wander while they absorb the rest of the night.
I think they will. And in fact, it will make mine as well. In fact, I could just go in and say NFT movie hall while we're waiting.
That's the power we have, and that's the beauty of it, is you see here, like, it's all about making things fun and doing what we love. So I can't wait. So thank you so much for this, and I won't hold people over any longer.
Oh, well, I think our most attentive, awesome audience that's in here would be game anytime to go, well, long. And because it is a long game for us right now. So, but I'm happy to throw
Well,
Red Flower Lake.
yeah, do it. And I'm gonna hold and hug my my MC303, and I'm so glad I'm in a place where I just wouldn't bring this out, I just
Yeah.
wouldn't. And it's just, so you guys, we're all here together. All right.
Totally. And
Enjoy.
while you're getting to vibe on Red Flower Lake, we're gonna have you
Okay.
plug it in
Okay.
and play it when we get back.
Let me see what I can do. I might be able to do something with that. If there's, we'll see how many emojis, and you got to get that interaction. Retweet the music hall, go and share it with all your friends.
Exactly.
That donation button, because we're all doing this because we love it. So I'm not sure where it is, but
Well, actually, everybody should be hitting the guest book for sure. Put your addresses in, sign it, and between dropping that co-app and I could provide some address information. So, bottom line is that this is a a community that absolutely vibes with the musicians. It's more than just the performance. It's about the big picture. And so,
exactly.
what's up? Yeah. And so,
All right.
we got 37 minutes to figure it out. So,
All right. See you guys.
thank you. And here we go. Go ahead and mute. Yep, here we go.
I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna be brave with you.
unmute.
to
Just
see
mute.
myself. Maybe you're just beginning to see yourself. I'm just as lonely as yourself. I'm just as lonely as yourself. I'm just as lonely as What else can we do? What else is there to do? Gotta be brave to see the truth. So brave to see the truth of me and you. We're just beginning to look. We're just beginning to You're right on the edge. You're right on the edge. Right on the edge. Right on the edge. Right on the edge. You're right on the edge. Right on the edge. Right on the edge. Right on the edge. you wanna tell me, I wanna keep you all my love.
Gentlemen, okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. Now, so that was beautiful, man.
All right, thanks. Um, yeah, that was a real treat for me too. Yeah, it's I can't wait to bring the next version of that, because that's, it's, I didn't mute my crypto voxel, sorry. Shut the door. At least I have 2 rooms here. So but yeah, and look who's here. Red Flower Lake just stepped in the door. We just watched that, so yeah. You want to say hi?
Sure.
Um, she is coming in.
Hi.
Hi, Rahima.
I'm Tom.
Uh-huh.
People call me Felons here. Felons is how it's really pronounced, but because everybody thinks I'm a gangster, we say felons,
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, gangster.
Nice to see you. Beautiful. He played this pre-recorded set here that's just wonderful. So thanks. It was very, what can I say? To have it in my venue, it's awesome.
Oh, well, thanks for hosting. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm glad it was good.
Yeah, it's always surreal to
Next time live,
Yeah.
He's the, I
Um,
know. I've kept
Ah,
telling him.
yeah.
Everybody's telling him.
What is
it
the word I'm
starts.
with this? I'm I'm like a grumpy person when it comes to live music.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I everything like I have to feel really comfortable, and I've kind of strayed away from live performances because of the like how many uncomfortable situations I've been in, and I just really want to make music. So
yeah.
that's been a challenge for me. And
Priority, yeah, is creation versus, you
yeah,
know,
and I think that that's what I'm learning. I'm learning, and when I see other people play music, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like I love it. I love when I am there to witness other music. So um it's definitely something I don't want to hold back. And I'm just glad that we're here, and it's kind of working. I'm able to work towards it again, and have that be a part of my life. So
well,
with the influence of
It's a
my
whole
friends.
nother kind of live, just the whole interaction that we're doing right now, we're all growing and everything's good. I'm so my thing is super awkward sometimes, and it's like my life's journey, bro. Seriously, I mean, I have this dark memory from like when I was a little kid playing violin. That, like somebody was like pushing me onto the stage with the violin under my arm, and I was like, "No, I'm not ready." And I'm still like battling that fucking weird experience that I had from being a kid getting forced to play violin. I mean, I didn't actually love violin. I felt obligated to do it. And now I've learned to love playing music, but
Yeah.
there's definitely some conflict there in my heart. And I'm so happy to be able to be here with you guys and be able to
yeah.
share my 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 life with you.
Well, it's funny, that you say that, and I think that that's because I always kind of when you were always the front man and the kind of a band leader of all the music projects, and I felt so comfortable being in the presence of that. And you know we would sometimes I would be on stage, because that's part of it, and sometimes we would mess around and I would not be on stage, and we would do other things. But every time I've been on stage with you or performed, it's been just like it's felt so comfortable. So it's with Chuck and with it really, like, I think it takes for me, that kind of like, I don't know, it's hard for me to do that myself. Then also I went through that era where it was like, oh, you're just performing with a laptop, and that's like, I was like, well, I mean, it's the easiest way to play back what I do. But since and kind of that going from like where we were like bringing all our keyboards in there, and then it's like, well, you could just bring a laptop, and I just never felt like that was my like where I was going with it, and it sort of, that's where electronic music went. So I'm kind of happy that I have the toy and the tools to kind of bring back that, like, where I feel like I can speak live through it even. And it's serendipitous that we're here doing that, and it's in our own
Totally.
realities.
So,
But
Abel, I have a very interesting story, a corollary maybe, or parallel that happened to me December 27th of 21, and I was interviewed on Easy's Corner, and I was just going through the electronic stuff that I'd done, and people were all, we were having the classic audio problems, which you have to hear the depth to audio problems tune someday. We'll drop the link here. Somebody's got to drop it in Discord. But anyway, people were just saying, just play live, just play live. It's like, what? And I don't know if, I don't think I actually did, but we managed to get through the audio problems, but that prompted me to just start playing again. And I'd been programming for like 2 years, 2.5 years, just noodling on the guitar a little bit, and then I started playing, and Binks hooked me up with that guy's drummer, and basically I played. He liked this tune that I'd recorded back in I don't know 2015, and I knew that the timing was off, and I wanted to be orchestrated a little bit different, so I started trying to play it. It's just like I couldn't fucking play it. So I kind of felt like I was relearning how to play. For a better part of like 4 months, I overdid my wrist, got tendonitis, and then finally, it was like April, May when I finally got my wheels turning on playing again. And so, only through this do you. It's kind of funny. You think it's all going to be more on the electronic side because there is a lot of electronic out there. But for me, it was a little mini renaissance. So,
Mm.
I feel it with you.
Yeah, that's so interesting, that kind of moment when, it's like that being pushed on stage. You're like, wow, like, how do I play? Like, I think it's we're in an era where not all music forms are like all done the same way as like when you just pick up an instrument and start strumming chords, and uh, I think there's all different levels of that. So I love hearing those stories because it is really important. And along, like, even though I'm a professional music producer, in my path, I did a lot of other things that I sort of tucked away and put away because I had, bad experiences, or they weren't accepted, or, and just sort of, but still continue to make music and produce and have that be my life. And, you have to grow and get perspective, I guess. Now I see that as I kind of had some, and go, wow, like that was like, why did I, that wasn't really worth putting away. I put that away for reasons. I made those reasons up, or, just because it was a hard experience doesn't mean I should stop doing it. It might have been that I was doing it in the wrong place, or that I didn't have, and I think that that's, something that I want to pass along to other people who are starting out in music as well, is like, what's in your heart is the most valuable, and I think you can go all different ways, but it comes down to really, in your life, you need to explore that. And that's the unique voice that we all have, to offer, so it's a really interesting journey to find it. And music is an incredible vehicle for that.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here doing it, man. Hell yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What's cool about this thing is that we could turn this on anytime, and we
Yeah.
can just noodle with it. And
Yeah.
so you can practice all you day. I can just actually hook your Twitch stream up to the screen, your stream to the screen, and you can just start at any time and say, hey guys, come into the
Well,
boxes and check me out.
and we have
Just
a
random.
we have a piano in our house, so we could even, so it really is mind-blowing and a bit overwhelming, but it's almost circular, where it comes back to like, okay, well, we can do anything, so what are we going to do, and I think that's part of the process for me, is just kind of creating those things, and experimenting with them. And this was definitely one of the first kind of times of that for me. So I really appreciate the opportunity, and
Yeah.
look forward
Between
to.
Binks and we just love this. And NFT Music Hall, we're looking at going to multiple metaverse platforms. Binks already has 3PS build outs in multiple metaverse properties. I'm losing it here, but everything that is yet to come is just that next level. And so doing the, you know, doing the hard stuff, getting through the, you know, the setup of, you know, streaming, but ultimately, you know, potentially doing motion capture, you know, she
Yeah,
was talking about that, but you know, it's going to be stepwise and purposeful to whatever level you want.
yeah. I
That'll be
mean,
fun
had-
practicing that motion capture.
yeah.
Sorry, well, go ahead.
No, I just commend you, you know, and also I think, you know, I know how hard it is to just like do different setups and have things switch over and the routing and the digital mixing. So I really appreciate, you know, the smoothness of your show tonight. That's been one of those, you know, kind of experiences that I've had in the metaverse is like, okay, we might not have to lug our gear everywhere, but there's still these like incredibly difficult little processes that, you know, you have to overcome in technical difficulties. So yeah, I think that, you know, that was really enjoyable. Like it was entertaining for me to like, I forgot to turn off, you know, voxels or whatever the show is going on in the other room. So
I do that sometimes right here, and I get the loop. It's really entertaining, and yeah, I keep on firing that sound guy, but you know, I keep on having to bring him in short notice. So I don't know. He kind of showed up bad earlier, but bottom line is, thank you. I'll take that as a huge compliment, and I strive to do it better every time. And so definitely great to be able to host you guys. And what's awesome is that we went over by an hour, and I think we haven't lost very many people. I mean, but really,
they're all
because
good
this has
ones.
been, you
Yeah.
brought it to the family.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope to bring it more out, you know, to further to people and, you know, be able to understand what we're doing technically better so that I can communicate that to the wider audience and, you know, how they can interface with it. So
Yeah.
very cool. And everybody, I mean, just have a great night. And I can't wait to come back and hang out and see what you got going on next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, this has inspired me to this whole. I mean, everything about this building that we're all doing here, which is so omnipresent in our Web3 filled lives. It's just, you know, it's building on. For me, the show made me put together a live set that I never really quite finished. I didn't, but like next time, you know, I'll be that much closer. And, you know, it's just a building process, man. I think we're doing great right here.
Yeah, it's to be able to take your little, you know, zone and prepare it for the world to see. It's kind of a completely different ethic to, you know, have your workspace be your performance space, right?
Mhm.
And you know, so the metaverse ultimately will transform to potentially going somewhere to participate in metaverse events, but for right now, you know, streaming is the thing, and until we can, you know, actually go to a performance and be the performers, and our images, our motions land themselves in a metaverse venue, you can say. I mean, we're just starting, so
Yep. Nice one. Thanks for having me.
thanks both of you. Is this a wrap?
I think so. I think we're done for tonight. I mean, you know, yeah.
Actually, you know, Abel, you're gonna play the 303 though. I don't know.
Um,
No, another time.
it's not
Or
hard. So the thing that I was looking for was like a mini speaker or something, but yeah, we can I'll turn it on if you guys want to hang out for a second. It'll be interesting. I could have like prepared it all and gone in and, you know, but what I can do is I can just turn it on and we'll see what happens, and then we can go out on that. So let me see if I
right on. Oh, there you go. It's got the electronic woodwind. What is that? Is that an electronic, or is it actually? Oh, it's just pure.
That's a Duke, right?
The Duke.
To do. Beautiful.
Yeah, this one picked me. It was definitely a picked me kind of instrument.
So clearly, everybody, this is the bonus round, and Trislet and company. I know we're going late. You guys can sign off anytime. It's just this is what's happening. So let me just check in on Discord.
Um, so
Okay. He gave us
here we
the
go.
thumbs up. So we're just vibing. So Trislet, he's our illustrious leader of Token Smart. He's doing the streaming for us, and he is vibing with us. So
Oh yeah, I'm just fooling around. You can see like we just tinker for in the end of the rest of our lives.
oh yeah,
But yeah, this is it's so old it's barely even working, and it's very interesting because it's all different sounds, and I haven't turned this on forever. And where is the
so this is coming out of the speaker on the unit itself, or
this is through the headphone.
oh. Oh, so you got your mic inside the headphones? Love it.
Yeah. The Yep, this is little things I was making back then. Um, I think I need to find out how to switch the tempo again so that it all is in the right tempo
Got
or
it.
speeds. But
So you've got a bunch of pre-recorded stuff still in there, huh?
oh yeah, it just turned off again. Yeah, it's saved kind of, I think, my programs in there, and I have them saved on some other things, but yeah, it doesn't really work that well, and that's kind of why I don't use it anymore. I mean, I think I did everything. I have to get another one if I was gonna use the instrument again. So
Got it. You mean
thanks
to bore it
for
out.
me. But yeah, the idea.
Oh yeah, and that's how impromptu we can get. So thanks for at least going down that lane with us. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Thank you for joining us. The Token Smart NFT Music Hall, Third Planet. Yay, we did it. So thanks again. We'll see you. In fact, I will definitely be joining you in the NFT record shop. Look forward to getting
Yeah,
to know you guys more.
do absolutely
Yeah.
come by there. There's a lot of people that would love to play music and are playing music, and that's a place that we like to bring people in and connect them.
Absolutely.
So
Well, we're just starting. So really, both of you are welcome again, and we should actually just set something up dedicated to making some music, doing your movie night. Love to do that. Let's talk about that.
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
there.
Great night. Thanks for staying up late for us. This is good.
Peace.
All
See
right.
you around.
Take
Love
care.
you guys. Peace.
Love you. All right.
Over and out from the metaverse.